Good evening. Let me start by thanking the Partnership for Science and Technology for the invitation to speak to you this evening on behalf of the U.S. Senate Western Caucus and its chairman, Senator John Barrasso from Wyoming. And thank you for this wonderful award. I'm sorry that I could not speak with you in person tonight, but as you may know, the Senate is currently debating legislation to overhaul our healthcare system, which required me to stay in Washington, D.C. through the weekend. In addition to sending my greetings to Lane Allgood, the PST Board of Directors, and all of those gathered here tonight, I want to send a special hello to Montana Governor Brian Schweitzer. Welcome to Idaho, and congratulations for receiving the Regional Award from the Partnership for Science and Technology. Finally, I want to congratulate the other recipients of awards from the Partnership: the Idaho Building and Construction Trades Council, recipient of the Local Award; Dr. Stephen Herring, recipient of the Nuclear Energy Advocate Award; and Dr. Harold Blackman, recipient of the Energy Education Advocate Award. Congratulations to all of you. The purpose of the Western Caucus is to provide a venue for Western senators to address common issues of concern to people in the West. Our work focuses on issues ranging from the nuclear renaissance to grazing to private property and water rights, with a whole lot more in between. In addition to serving on the caucus with Senator Barrasso, his colleague from Wyoming, Senator Mike Enzi, and my great friend Senator Risch, we are pleased to be joined by colleagues from Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Nebraska, Kansas, and Louisiana. The Senate Western Caucus is focused on the issues of importance to our constituents, and I could not be happier with the job that my friend Senator Barrasso is doing as chairman of that caucus. As you know, the Western Caucus is receiving this award for its work on the Clean, Affordable, Reliable Energy Act, also known as the CARE Act. I'm an original co-sponsor of this legislation because it is a perfect example of the all of the above strategy that we must adopt if we're going to get serious about our energy future. It seeks to promote a common sense policy of enhanced domestic exploration of traditional energy sources, as well as necessary investments in nuclear, wind, and solar energy, all while providing appropriate and necessary protections for our natural resources. Further, and of importance to those here this evening, it would stop the Nuclear Regulatory Commission from denying a license, permit, or other authorization due to the lack of a permanent repository for spent nuclear fuel or high-level radioactive waste disposal capacity. In other words, no one would be able to use the closure of Yucca Mountain as a reason to prohibit an expansion of nuclear power. This legislation has been referred to the Senate Committee on Finance, on which I serve, where it awaits further action. I'm working with my colleagues on the caucus to ensure that this legislation can receive a hearing in the committee as soon as possible. Both on the caucus and off, I'm working aggressively with my colleagues in Congress and in the administration to make progress in the area of nuclear energy. I've spoken with the Secretary of Energy and other administration officials on the importance of expanding loan guarantee authority for enrichment and construction. The loan guarantee program simply does not contain enough funding to support the nuclear renaissance that we know is necessary. I've also spoken with the administration about the need to streamline the loan guarantee program itself so that we can provide certainty for the nuclear industry and start getting those loan guarantees out the door. Squabbles between federal agencies, such as the one we currently see between the Department of Energy and the Office of Management and Budget, help no one and only slow our efforts to make nuclear energy the large part of our energy portfolio that it so desperately needs to occupy. Further, these bureaucratic fights only make it more difficult to make the President's emission reduction targets realistic, as we all know that without a robust expansion of nuclear energy, those targets simply cannot be met without doing tremendous damage to our economy. There are various pieces of legislation currently under consideration in the Senate, in addition to the CARE Act, that look at nuclear energy as a way to help us meet our growing clean energy needs. For example, Colorado Senator Mark Udall recently introduced the Nuclear Energy Research Initiative Improvement Act of 2009, of which I'm proud to be a co-sponsor. This legislation would direct the Secretary of Energy to conduct research to lower the cost of nuclear reactor systems, including research regarding modular and small-scale reactors, balance of plant issues, cost-efficient manufacturing and construction, licensing issues, and enhanced proliferation controls. During Senator Udall's remarks when he introduced this legislation, he mentioned that he once opposed nuclear energy, but that he has come to recognize its value. Particularly, he noted the role that nuclear energy will have to play as we move forward in order to reduce our dependence on foreign sources of energy and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Senator Udall's perspective is shared by many in Congress, and I believe firmly that the tide is turning in Congress and across America on the role that nuclear power needs to play in our country's energy future. I look forward to continuing my work with Senator Udall and my other colleagues in Congress, in addition to the administration, as we move forward on expanding the role of safe, clean, and reliable nuclear power in the United States. Let me conclude by speaking about you, the Partnership for Science and Technology, for a moment. As everyone in this room knows, the government can and should play a limited, appropriate role to support nuclear power in this country. However, government is not where the answers lay. Industry is. Those of you here tonight who represent the nuclear and related industries here in eastern Idaho are a testament to the role that industry can and should play. I continue to be impressed by the work of the partnership and its members. And rarely a day goes by, whether here or in Washington, D.C., here in the state or in Washington, D.C., that I don't hear about the great work that you're doing in support of the Idaho National Laboratory and others. It's my hope that as nuclear power continues to get the attention and support that it deserves, that the Partnership for Science and Technology will continue to serve as the model for what industry coalitions across the United States can accomplish. I have no doubt that that will happen, and I will continue to do my part in highlighting the great work that you have done. Again, thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you tonight and for presenting the Western Caucus with this wonderful award. And thank you as well for the great work that you do.